Hi everybody, it's Kristin, and today I have for you a review on the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. I keep wanting to say tattoo. There's no tattoo in it. And I've had this sample for quite some time, well over 6 months, and I had tried it a couple of times, put it away, and because I was like, I'm not really sure, and then I have pulled it back out, and I've used it on and off over the last couple of weeks so that I could bring you a good solid review. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and give to you guys today. First things first, I think I'll go ahead and cut to me applying it this morning so that you can see how it applies, and then we will come back and talk about that. So I already have the primer that I have found of all of my primers I like to use best with this, and that's the Rouge Aqua primer. I'm certain there are other primers, but I have 3 in my possession right now, and this is the one I like best of the ones that I have tried in my possession. So I'm just going to dot it. I try to kind of work in, and I did this today because I have a friend or two, and I thought you guys would be able to see. I'll try to do my half and half here. And I am using the Cover FX cream foundation brush. I really feel like this works it into my skin the best. The F80 is probably second best. I did not like fingers at all. Of course, I'm looking at my mirror that's behind me. It's not behind me because my day bed's behind me. I'm looking at the mirror that's kind of behind the camera-ish. This really is a very good color match for me. One of the best, actually, of the ones that I've tried. Okay, so you can see how it really does cover very well. And you can see that it, without any concealer, well, you can still see that spot. It's not like, hello, like it was before. And we'll do the other side. I really do feel like it does work into the skin well, but like if you're not using a brush that works well with it, excuse me, it's just not going to work in. It's not going to look as nice. And when I use like dual fiber brushes, if I could stop saying like, when I use dual fiber brushes, it just didn't work as well. I didn't feel. But like I said, you really can see that this is a good, hopefully you guys can see, a good match for me. Alright, so that is the face, no concealer, just foundation. Okay, so as you can see, it applies well, I think, if you have determined the best way to apply it. I struggled with this a little bit early on in figuring out exactly what brush in my collection I liked to apply it with. Was it better with fingers? Which primer did it work best with? That sort of thing. So the primers that I tried it with, as you saw, I used the Aqua, let's just call it what it is, the Prelude in the Clouds Aqua Primer from Rouge. I also tried it with my Guerlain primer, and I tried it with the Hourglass primer. The Hourglass primer, and understand this review is coming to you from someone who is 40 and someone who has dry skin. So those things I think are important in a review. I always forget to mention that stuff early on. So the Hourglass was absolutely not a good fit for this foundation. It was not good at all for me on my skin. So that was that. And then the Meteorites just didn't, I don't know, something about that didn't mesh well with that foundation, the Guerlain. But the Rouge Aqua Primer I have found works best with it. So a little bit on application of this foundation. As I said in my demo, I tried fingers, I tried my F80, I tried dual fiber brush. I think that's all of them. I didn't try a a traditional foundation brush because that's not my favorite kind of brush. And as you saw in my video, the one that I prefer, and this is wet now from cleaning it, the one I prefer is the Cover FX Cream Foundation Brush. Some people have compared this to the Tom Ford Cream Foundation Brush. I don't have that, but so I just find that this brush in particular works it well into your skin. So if you have this brush and you have that foundation, try the combo. I'm going to kind of go ahead through my little range that I have. You guys have heard me, you know, talk about before my little categories. The one category that I'm not going to speak to, so this one is going to be a four-point system versus 5, is packaging, and that's because I don't have the packaging. I know that the packaging is plastic and it's kind of a fun little, it reminds me a little bit of the Skin 79 BB cream packaging. So I described it to show you, it looks similar to this where it has a pump on the, you know, the pump is on the top and then the spout is on the side. It reminds me a little bit of that packaging, but I'm not going to speak to that simply because I don't have any experience with it. So let's start with coverage. This gets a full 1 out of 1 for coverage for me. I think it's great coverage. There's not much that's going to show through. You can see I didn't add any concealer. You can still see the little dot, my little, you know, blemish here. But any of my pigmentation on both sides of my cheeks, I feel like has really, you can't see it as much, and I didn't have to add any concealer to it. So I give that a full 1 out of 1. The color range, I also give it the full point. It is 19 colors in the range now. I think originally it had, I can't remember, but they have added more colors recently. The color that I am using is number 46, which is, I think, the 4th up, like the 4th lightest, not the lightest, you know what I'm saying? The 4th lightest. And it, as I mentioned in the application, it's a perfect match for my skin. I really like that. I really like that part about it. The longevity, no joke, it locks it. It is on there all day long. When I come home and take it off at night, it's on there, and it looks, the coverage looks just like, I hesitate to say that, but we'll talk more in a minute. The coverage looks just like it did as far as, you know, things are very covered from when I put it on in the morning. And then the finish, I'm giving it a half a point only. It probably not even shouldn't give it that much. I feel like, I mean, it's matte, which is what it's supposed to be. It is a matte finish. It also does not, it doesn't transfer at all. Like if you know, take a sweatshirt off or whatever, you know, give your guy a hug. It doesn't transfer at all. So I like that about it because, and I say that because this foundation on my skin is because of the long lastingness of it, I find it drying. When I get to the end of the day, I don't set it with powder at all. There's no powder going on top of this. I get to the end of the day, those of you with dry skin know what I'm talking about. You kind of will see little patches of dry skin where you didn't have them in the morning. There are a few places, like this is a place that I'll see that sometimes on my cheeks. So overall, I'm giving this a 3.25 to a 3.5 out of 4. Again, it's out of 4 this time. And I can't remember if I think I did, that it sells for $34. And Sephora is who carries it. I won't purchase this foundation because of the fact that it's just too drying for my skin. I think if you have oily skin, you would love this foundation, or like a normal to oily. I really think you would enjoy this foundation, especially if you have some pigmentation issues that you want to cover, or some, you know, old acne scars. I believe if you have acne that is like was active and is clearing up and kind of gets those dry things, I think this would cling to that like nobody's business. I've not had that, but that's just kind of something that I would kind of warn you about. As I said, it does cover very, very well, but I do find it to be very drying. So while I'm giving this a relatively good mark, because it's doing what it's claiming to, I'm not saying it's a bad foundation. I'm saying it's not a good foundation for me and my skin type. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If you have any questions or if I missed something, feel free to leave it below and I'll absolutely get back to you on that. If you're not interested in seeing what is on the rest of my face, thank you so much for watching. And if you are, I'll run it down quickly for you. For blush today, I am using the Tarte blush in Blushing Bride, which is this one. On my eyes, I have the Tom Ford Quad in Burnished Amber. I have, let me take the brushes out of here, this color all over the lid. I have this in the outer corner, just kind of brushed sideways with the 217 in. And I have a little bit of this on the inner corner. And I have just the tiniest bit of this in the crease. I have some MAC Wedge in the crease as well, and a little bit of MAC Brulee up top. I always say that, up top. Good gracious. And on my lips today, I haven't even shown this in a haul yet. One of my subscribers had suggested I purchase this lipstick. So for lip liner, I have MAC's Half Red. And then for lipstick, I have Revlon's Rum Raisin, which I really like. So thank you for the suggestion. All right. I think that is it. If you have any questions, like I said, go ahead and leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.